So, in this lesson, we're going to be talking about letting go of the number one thing that holds almost everyone back, that holds us back from experiencing the success that we want in our lives and in our art. And that thing is fear of failure. And there are reasons why we avoid failure right at our very core, the core of our being. Failing is something that, as animals, puts us at risk. So our limbic system kicks in and wants to protect us. It triggers our fight or flight response when we're faced with the possibility of failure. So when you feel that knot in your stomach and that rise of anxiety in your gut, that's a really very real response that is coming straight from your nervous system. But there are ways to turn that off and then to put it to good use. So we're going to work on quieting the monkey mind. The monkey mind is that little chattery voice that kicks in to protect us to say, don't do that, you might fall. Don't do that, you might look foolish. Don't do that, you might make a mistake. Don't do that, it won't be perfect. Don't try that, it might not look good. Or don't try that, people might talk about it. So we're going to quiet the monkey mind down so that we're no longer bound up with the idea of failure and judgment. So I want you to think about for a little while, put it in the back of your mind, maybe even sleep on it tonight, and then come back to the worksheet. I want you to think about the ways that you've been playing small. We all have way more possibility and potential than we unlock. What are you doing to hold it back? In what way are you not going all in? So I want you to think about how you're playing small and then how you can play larger. And the way to play larger is to concentrate on who you want to help. Because a lot of times we get locked up with that idea that if we are going to play bigger, that we're being self-absorbed or showing off or being that smarty britches person. But the reality is, if we're not playing to our full potential, if we're being held back by fear of judgment and fear of failure, then we are not helping the people out there who can benefit from what we have to offer. And yes, painting can benefit people. Yes, making art will benefit people. There are lives that are changed, even if it's just one at a time, by what can happen through the act of painting, through learning about painting, through looking at painting, through experiencing painting. So what you do is crucial and critical. And when you don't play large and go all in, you are holding back from the impact that you can have on the world. Failure is good. I used to ask my students at the beginning of every week, what did you fail at last week? Because if you haven't failed at anything, you haven't played large and you haven't taken any risks. So I want you to remember that failure is good. Fail often and fail forward. Other people are going to judge you. That is just gonna happen. You can count on it. And you just need to remember, they are not your people. So if people are judging you and making comments, they're not your peeps. They're not your ideal engaged audience. Let them go, wish them well, send them on their way. Let them go and focus on the ones who are. Because when you are sharing authentically, like we've been talking about throughout this whole module, you're going to attract the people to you who are in need of what you have to offer. When you let go of those who are judging you, you attract the people who need you. It's all about letting go and releasing what doesn't work and what stands in your way. So when you let go of playing small, of worrying about failure and judgment, it's like taking your foot off of the brake and being able to apply a whole lot less gas. No longer are both feet on the controls. You're braking at the same time that you're putting on gas. If you release your fear of failure, the brake comes off and it takes a whole lot less gas to get underway. So nobody expects you to produce perfection every single time you try something except you. And you have the ability to give yourself permission to let go of that. So stop looking for imperfections. Instead, look for possibilities. And in the next module, we're going to be looking at all of the vast array of opportunities and possibilities that are out there for creating your own success path. But before we get there, download the worksheet for this lesson. And let's look at where you've had some past successes and some places where you might have failed in the past as well. And then think about flipping those around. So in step 1, make a list of your past successes in either art or your life. Include overcoming challenges and roadblocks. Those are successes. And make a list of at least 3 successes that are in the past, even if it's just in the last 6 months. Now, in step 2, make a list of no more, I really do mean that, no more than 3 things you failed at in the last 6 months. 3 things that didn't work out the way you planned. Now, jot those down right now and then come back. In step 3, I want you to think about what the outcomes were for those failures. Because quite often when we look back, there are new opportunities and new possibilities that grow out of those kind of challenges. So look at where you failed, each of those 3 failures, and identify at least one new opportunity or possibility that grew out of those failures. And I want you to see that you can do this every single time you fail. You can always look for what is the new opportunity that's revealed by taking that chance or taking that risk. And the last thing I want you to look at here in Module 1 is I want you to think about what role service can play in your vision of success for your creative practice. How does your art making, your art practice serve others? It's really important to think about how you are having an impact. That's what I mean by service. Service is impact. How are you planning to weave in impact into what you do? Jot that down and then read back through your notes a little bit more just to make sure you aren't leaving anything out. Talk to you again soon.